Hi, everybody. Mitch Tannenbaum here. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to talk about a topic today which is unusual in that it's relatively new, and that is security scoring. We're seeing a lot of players do this, and I'll explain in a minute who some of those players are. But let me first explain what it is. So, security scoring, and let me share my screen here so that I can show you something. So security scoring is, start over here. Uh, you get literally a score. And in the case of Black Kite, which is one of the vendors that we represent several. They use the MITRE ATT&CK framework to go off and look for weaknesses. They have 20 different categories and a whole bunch of metrics, and they literally score you based on that. So here are, for example, the categories, and they can tell whether you have applied patches. And this is only the interesting thing about this whole concept is this is only done from the outside in. So the good and bad news of it is that that people can score you without you even knowing about it or without your approval. And that may affect whether they choose to do business with you. For example, going over here, BitSight is another company we represent, has a product for insurance carriers. And the insurance carriers, unbeknownst to you, and Black Kite also sells to insurance carriers, they use it to inform their underwriting decisions. So they might go off and say, you have C's or D's in these categories. We're not going to underwrite your insurance. In fact, what we're seeing with some of the insurance brokers is they're signing up with these guys. They're running your score before they ever submit your policy for underwriting because they want to clean this stuff up so it looks clean before it ever gets to underwriting. They also use it to monitor your health during the life of the policy and to reduce loss control. Because if they see during the term of your insurance that you have bad grades, then they're going to go off and contact you and say, hey, you need to go fix that. These guys will even go off and estimate, for what it's worth, a potential loss from the score that you have. So these things are becoming mainstream. So who's using these things? There's a bunch of different categories of folks that are using these things. So the first category of folks that are using it are the valuators. We did a presentation and a feature article for the National Association of Certified Valuators that said, cyber risk actually affects the value of the company when you go to sell it. And they agreed, and they're integrating that into their process. But Moody's invested $250 million, $250 million in BitSight to help them go off and change the Moody's score so that your Moody's score will be impacted by your cyber practices. Who else is using it? The regulators are using it. So for example, the New York Department of Financial Services uses it to monitor the 3,000 or so companies that they regulate. We are seeing other organizations who are using this. The banking regulators are using this to go affect the review process that they do with regulated entities. So we're seeing that a lot now, and I think we're going to see more of it because it's an easy way. Oh, the other thing is people are using it to rate their competitors. It's very common, to go off and say, how do we go off and compare against our competitors? So, that's kind of interesting. So here's the thing, if you're not doing this yourself, then you're going to be the last person to know whether or not you have some cyber risk problems that other folks would look at. So if it seems like this is something that you want to use or should be using or want to consider using for your company and your vendors, then give us a call and we'll be happy to set up a demo and talk to you about it. Until then, thanks for
Turnkey Cybersecurity and Privacy Solutions offers the complete cybersecurity program for small to medium-sized